missed all that.
Hello, everyone. Cam loves to give great monologues when the camera's not on. It's his favorite.
You guys.
It's his favorite thing to do. And I recently changed everything about the way I look, so you guys don't even know me as normal. I guess I don't look terrible. It's not me though. That's the problem that I hate about it. Is I look in the mirror and I'm just like, this isn't what I want to look like. This isn't what like.
So why did you get it cut like that?
Because I am married and I wanted my wife to be happy.
I know.
And think that it was cool, and so it was a surprise. It's not like she was like, "Oh, go get your hair cut," but it was more like, "Oh, I could do this because I know she likes shorter hair." Like that's what she likes.
Shorter hair, and then it's got to be, I think, completely clean shaven. They like probably beard or
I completely clean shaven. I'm too fat for that. It's not like I don't have it on top still. On top is still there.
Yeah, well,
Clean shaven is not. He actually prefers me to have the beard.
don't dive in.
So the beard is actually, yeah. So this is what she doesn't necessarily want. The short hair she probably is good with.
Yeah.
But it's like, personally, it's like I don't. It's not me. It's not what I want.
Yeah. I want
So
to.
it's like, well, I should probably just stop doing that then.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it looks good. I mean, I don't like. Part of me wants to cut my hair.
Well, and that's what I did. I did it on kind of an impulse of like, yeah, I'll do it, and she'll like it and think it's good. And then I look at myself and I was like, I'm way too fat to cut my hair.
You think so?
Oh,
Isn't it
for
better
sure.
to cut your hair when
I
you are overweight?
I don't think so. I think it's better to have long hair because it frames your face better and there's like more of you, so you don't look like a pinhead.
Yeah.
I hate it. I think it looks. I just don't like it at all. I guess I don't mind the way it looks in the camera here. I don't.
Yeah.
I guess I don't hate it
Just-
when I see myself looking in the camera, but.
Which might be the only problematic thing, is that we might be looking at the camera too much.
I know.
So,
We're
I guess we can put the camera up and just
we're
hide our
such
face.
narcissists.
We
that
are, aren't we?
We're just looking at our own thing.
Well, that's all we do.
We're pretty close though to the end,
Oh yeah.
and all I've got to do is beat the game and then do one more thing, like
Yeah.
one little dealie, and I'll have a plat for this game.
Oh, wow.
I worked on all the other stuff.
And then the next game is Terraria, right?
Terraria.
That's that was one of the students' requests
Oh man,
when he was.
we
watching
could play
us.
Terraria. There's no Terraria is a game you just play to play.
Yeah.
So there's no. There is a story, but it's like a Minecraft story.
Yeah, he said it was roguelite.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go until you die, and then you start over, and then.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's not going to be the same as
roguelite.
the one we played.
No, I think I watched it. It looks really.
Well, and it's just
Am I
just
gonna-
you play to play. It's not. There's
Am I gonna
no.
break Twitch by saying that?
No. Well, good. Have a hot take. That's good. We want hot takes. But here's our stupid fat faces for you.
I know.
You guys don't even care.
Our 101 followers and ourselves as a viewer. There should be 2 viewers since there's 2 of us.
Right.
4 eyes. We get 4 viewers. Change it.
One
Twitch.
viewer and I.
Are there any other game streaming platforms?
Oh yeah. I mean, I put so. If you're talking about
Live.
streaming live, like YouTube does live now,
Okay.
Rumble does live,
Okay.
Twitch, and then there's another one. I just saw it actually the other day. Now I can't remember what it's called. But they also do live,
Yeah.
and I can't. Was it?
I think we're algorithm thou.
No, I
As
think
we
it's just
mentioned
we're just
Christian and stuff,
we're
that's,
just white noise. I think is really what it is.
Yeah.
And to be honest, putting ourselves up here, I think actually will help. People like to see the faces of the people that are actually talking,
Yeah.
and that
think
might help
so.
with the videos as well. Because we're getting more people on YouTube to watch. It's not a ton, but
Yeah.
it's it's something.
I mean, followers, clicks, views, and I'm sure it's probably like advertised on the side of other people's stuff.
Right,
you know, and,
right.
You know, eventually, maybe, I don't know. Like, if I cared about social media, I guess I would do stuff.
Purple.
He's like he just hanging there?
Well, and
waiting for you
that
to
is
punch him
the
up?
thing, is it's like, if you want it
Destroy
to
my
really
sweater.
succeed, you have to
Whoa, whoa.
you have to post on social media at least that we're doing it.
Yeah.
And then people are like, hey, they're doing a video, because our schedule is just so wonky. It's hard for us necessarily to start. I mean, me and you at least do it always on a Monday. The Monday for us works out pretty well. But like me and Tyler, like, we missed this week because I felt sick and I had parent-teacher conferences, so I didn't get a time to like rest.
Oh, you already did your.
And so I was like, it was frustrating. And then I felt fine after the conference was over, so then I got more upset with myself.
I don't look or just look forward to parent conference.
Oh, I hate it. I think parent-teacher conference is the biggest waste in this technological age. I think it is a waste of time, because if you want to know how your student is doing, one, you can just literally look up the grade right then. You can email me, you can call me, you can do a Zoom chat with me.
Yeah.
And that individual person can do it.
Yeah.
And the thing is then all that means is, me as a teacher, I am more than happy to sit down with a parent anytime that they want and go over it. But to have a set day, the only benefit of it is that you get that Friday off.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're working a 980. You're just like,
Yeah.
well, I already did my time. That's really the only benefit.
Yeah,
But other than that, you're just like, I don't care for it. Not that, the parent.
Yeah, it's
Some people might be like, well, you just don't want to see the parents. Like, that's actually not the issue. That doesn't bother me at all. I think it's just
not
we're
necessarily,
past
but
it.
I mean, sometimes
We're past it as a thing.
Right.
Whether the parents come and talk to me, that doesn't bother me. Because I have good relations with my parents, and I have very strict boundaries
Yeah.
of how I'm a teacher. And so, and I think parents get that too when they meet me. They're like, oh yeah, he's just no nonsense and he's going to do his thing. And, he helps my kid by not, being a total wank. And it's just like, yeah, that's basically what I do. Like, I don't make your kids' lives harder. Aw, his life is harder though.
No, it's dead. So that's probably easy.
Yeah. No, he's just dead.
Dead's easy. Life's hard.
That's true. That's why I would love Christ to come. Because I would love him to be here and we could all be done with the nonsense. That's what I would love.
Oh,
I'm just done. Like, there's nothing in... Because I used to think when I was younger, it's like, well, I love video games, and what if there's like a game I don't get to like play because it comes, just kind of sounds so facetious, right? And it's just like, now it's like there isn't anything like that for me now. Like, my interests are not, I don't know that my interests like surround me or cause me to think that I'm different, or like my interests don't define me, I guess, anymore.
yeah. I mean, and
When you're a kid, I think they probably do a little bit. It's like, oh, that's the sports guy, that's the nerd, and it's like, my whole purpose is just being a dad and a husband. Like, that's it.
We have to talk.
that's pretty fickle.
There are nests popping up everywhere.
When everything about life seems so fickle too. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
if I were doing this as a job, I'm sure I would find a way to complain about it. I'm sure I would find something that like, maybe I should do something else.
Yep.
And it's like, so being a teacher is just fine. And then when inevitably they find reasons that they hate me, I'll move on to something else. Because that's what always happens, Cam.
Maybe that's what'll happen.
Maybe that's always what happens
I
with
know
me.
that's our friend Destin. He's gonna move on from her.
Yeah, he's been texting me about a stagnant job that's right by
Yeah.
Hunter. And I'm like, I wonder if he wants me to apply with him. And I'd consider it.
No, I think
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, because he also said, he would.
When he
He
asked
would do
me,
Hunter.
he asked me to tell him when the next time Hunter has jobs. I'm like, yes, that's what I wanted you to do last year, you butt. Like that. Why didn't you think of this last year? And we could be coaching together. Would have been so great.
I'll be all left alone.
Or you can come to Hunter Oh, that's a cool suit. I
no.
like that.
Because I'm never gonna get my license.
Why not?
So today I got an email because I sent them this transcript for a senior seminar class for writing and research, and they said I needed a syllabus or a letter from the professor with you letterhead on it for that class.
Harry got the meteorite.
And so,
I took it in 2006.
Connor's.
Right.
We can't save him.
right.
So I sent him back a very terse email. I'm just like, I'm beyond frustrated. I've been teaching for 8 years, and it looks like I still won't be recognized as a teacher because I keep on getting these roadblocks for these small things. Why can they not accept that transcript or all my
Right.
years teaching and that I have a doctorate for crap's sake? You're
Right.
telling me that nowhere in there is enough schooling to make this one class go away. I'm already in what I thought was my last class, but they're going to make me take another class about this.
If May.
They better not. It's just like, what would the syllabus prove that the transcript didn't prove? And I sent you the description of the course. I don't even know if there is one because you go in there, you talk to the professor, and you come up with what you want to research and write about a specific subject. And I picked Abraham Lincoln.
Right.
The guy doesn't even work there anymore. I found him living in Las Vegas on Facebook, so I sent him a message. I don't know what
Right.
he could do.
Well, and the
But-
thing is why that's literally what the whole reason a transcript exists
Yes.
is to show that you met some requirement. It'd be like saying, well, you don't have a master's degree in economics anymore
Cover more
because you graduated in 2012.
the meteorite.
And I mean, I haven't ever worked as an economist. And it's like, so that doesn't mean anything because we don't accept transcripts anymore. It's like, what do you mean? That's like, or, you know, if the district was like, well, we don't accept your master's degree, so we're
Right.
going to drop you to like a bachelor's lane. That'd be the same thing.
Well, it
It's
makes
like,
no
no.
sense for this one class.
Right. Well, right. And the thing is you're already,
You know what it says?
that's what's so dumb is you're already teaching. Like you
Yeah.
literally are already doing the job.
Yeah.
Like you're already doing it.
Right? You know that. So my competency is based on this one class.
Right.
You know what it says in the description when I went there again? It said for history majors and those wanting to teach history.
Right. So
else do you need me to do?
Yeah, what else is this supposed to be, guys?
Yeah, like, what would a syllabus prove? What would the professor say? Yes, he passed this class. Yes, he was in my class
Right.
18 years ago.
Right. If he like he wouldn't even remember you to begin with.
No. I mean,
Like,
I
who's
remember
this
him,
guy?
the classes, but he's not going to because he had a lot of classes.
Well, yeah. I don't remember kids that I taught last year. I can't remember their names.
Yeah.
I guess I remember that what they looked like, but there are kids
Yeah.
I'm sure that I taught or could have taught that if I saw them today, I wouldn't know who they were. I'd be like, oh yeah, who's this guy?
Do you not believe I went to the U? Like, what would the letterhead prove? That the guy actually taught there? Am I making something up? Is he going to tell me, yes, this works for the
Well,
history teaching
right.
curriculum for licensure through the USBE?
Right. Well,
Like,
it was an official transcript, yes.
They didn't. Yeah, I think so.
Like, because
I
I
don't know, I
could,
think
I
I'm-
could see them saying, okay, we just need an official transcript, because obviously people
I've
could
said
like
the same-
show
that multiple times.
right. And so if you've sent an official transcript, that's the only time that I'd be like, okay, I get what they're saying because it's not official.
Isn't that what the AEL is for? The Associate Educator's License is sending all that stuff? They have a copy,
I don't
a
know,
scanned
man.
copy of my associate's degree, of my undergraduate degree from the University of Utah in history,
Uh-huh.
and my Juris Doctorate, along with transcripts from each of those schools. And then I've sent them to the Appel program and Joy Lynn multiple times as well. I've also sent multiple documents to them. It is beyond frustrating.
Well, the thing it's like, you remember when they wouldn't, when I was trying to get that other certification,
Yeah.
and they were like, no, well, you decided not to send it anywhere, so that was your
Oh, yeah.
free like thing, and because you didn't choose to do that, you need to pay $50 and have it done. And it's like, I was so angry, and I used all the big words and like, I'm not gonna do it. And it's like, well, maybe I should have stuck to my guns. I don't know. Probably not. Just eat it.
This better work.
I don't
But-
know. I mean, if I could pay somebody $50 to get this over with, I'd do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I probably, I've been paying several $100s that I hope I get reimbursed through some grant.
One
program
second
for these.
remaining, and I died.
Oh.
1 second. Ah.
Because I had to take 2 classes this summer for like pedagogy and stuff like that. Content in the literacy area. Literacy in the content area, I think that's it. Anyway, it's about being able to understand what you read, what you know in your subjects. It's just like, and they're like, literacy is actually second nature. If they have information, if they know about the subject material beforehand, then they're more likely to comprehend it. I'm just like, then how does that help me by the time they're in my class?
Right.
If they don't already have that information, and that's more important than literacy, then once they get to the class, that's no good for me.
Right.
That means I have to get them to read stuff for the next class above me? Is that what I'm trying to do?
Right.
But then that doesn't matter. Then that information doesn't matter because I still have to start at like I don't know what all these studies prove, and I just the thing that makes a difference is people wanting to learn and know.
Well, we had a faculty meeting today, and our principal, who's a really good principal, and I really like him, and he was just like, well, we had kids that attended 80%, and he is wanting us to maybe just look at them, see if there's some way that we can help them out, so that they can, pass. And it's like, okay, I get that, and I agree with it, because I look at that myself anyways. But then the question does become, well, I can only help if they do their part, and their part is just doing anything, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's not that I didn't teach him or whatever, and he's not saying that it is. It literally is not him being like a dumb administrator. That's not what happened. But he's also at a loss too, because he's like, okay, they're attending this many times, and we know that you're doing your job. So it's not a question of you guys not doing your job. That's not what he's saying. He's just saying, hey, basically it's more like he's asking a question. Is there a way to do this? Is there a way to maybe help these kids who are right there, and then we can have just a lower amount of kids, failing classes, which is fine.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. But then as a teacher, you're like, well, we already made, especially because we do PBL, like,
Yeah.
PBL, you get a 1 out of 4. And it's like, so if you're looking at that as like a percentage on a test, you're only getting 25%. And that's a D minus, right?
a 25% is a D minus.
Yeah, well, so because that's how you kind of think of it, right? So it's like, okay, a 1 says that they don't really know what they're doing. They attempted it, or they need a lot of help to perform it. That's a D minus now. That's a 1 out of 4. So like if you think of a 1 out of 4, well, a 1 out of 4 is 25%.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way, right? Now, maybe that's not the way that they should look at it. Maybe there has to be something more to it. But it's not getting a 60%, for example.
Yeah. that's
Right?
Weird.
And
So is there an F anymore?
so yeah, an F is like, you obviously, it works out. It doesn't really work out any differently. Like, kids that deserve an F get an F. Kids who deserve a D minus get a D minus. It's just a different way of looking at what that means. So if you get 1 out of 4 right on a test, you got a 1, and a 1 is really bad. But it is passing. It is passing. And that's kind of the problem too, is like, we should look at, in my opinion, I like this system.
Yeah.
Because I think what a D minus should represent is someone that still should be not necessarily an employee, that it's a risk. Like, if I look at a high school transcript and I'm like, oh, you got a bunch of D minuses, I should know as an employer that that's a risk I'm taking. It doesn't mean you shouldn't hire them. It just means it's a risk. And at least a risk in that competency area, if that makes a little more sense.
Right.
And so that's kind of the whole thing, is that
Yeah.
kids are failing now. Like, if I give a math test and you can't even get a 1 out of 4, it's literally means that you just didn't probably do the test.
Yeah.
Because like, for a lot of kids, I can get them and feel good about giving them a 1 on a test. And if you average a 1 on every test, then you get a 1, right? Even if you take 6 tests, right?
That's horrible, though.
Well, that's the same thing as averaging a 60% and getting a D minus.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, so you're saying that if you just answer one question on each test, you could pass?
No, because you got to think of it differently. Because like, if I were giving a 60%, let's say that's a D minus, I'm giving 10 questions, and they got 6 out of 10 right, and you're like, okay, you might feel better about that, because in percentage wise, that's greater than half, and it's like, yes, but that doesn't actually show skill.
Yeah.
That's not a good delineation of you know how to do this thing. Because if I'm giving a math test and the 6 that you got right were all in the way that we think of it, like level 1 questions, right? It's like, well, okay, you only got level 1 questions right. I could give you 9 questions and you only get level 1 questions right, and you still deserve a D minus, but you got 9 out of 10. So that's how the PBL is. That's the problem PBL is trying to address, is that we're not giving kids A's for coming in and like cleaning desks. Because that also happens on the traditional system. Like, we all know teachers that did that. It's like, oh, I'll give you extra credit because of whatever. And then colleges were like, your kids aren't prepared. And it's like, yeah, if you only get 1 out of 4, you're right, it is at 25% if you think of it in the old standard. But the thing is you have to break away from the old standard. You have to say a 1 represents someone who does not understand this thing, and they can get a high school diploma with D minuses, but they should be looked at as like, you shouldn't be going to college with that kind of a thing. Even community college, you shouldn't. And like, the classes we teach delineate that too. It's like, we're going to teach a data science class, and if you take that class instead of math 3, you shouldn't be going to college or you need to take those like really, really low math classes that they offer. And that's way different than the system that me or you went through.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh yeah, well, I'll pass you for giving me a smile, like, you know? And that's like obviously ridiculous. And so it's a change in philosophy, and it's not necessarily an easy philosophy to, 1, explain, or 2, get on board with, which is also difficult. Yeah, and I get that.
I think my brother's school wants to change to that, and he's not happy about it.
Well, and there's pushback from everyone. Oh, there's one more.
Oh yeah.
And there's pushback from new people, like, you know, I think I came in when they'd already been doing it, but just not for very long. Where's this guy? He's supposed
bust
to
up
be,
the garbage can.
He's supposed to be here? In here? No, can't go in there. Here? No, I don't even think it'll let me. Oh, it won't even let me go over there. I think I have to reload this checkpoint. Because I don't, because he's supposed to be here, right?
You obliterated the guy so badly?
I guess.
Maybe you're supposed to blow up the gas station.
Okay. Start throwing stuff, I guess. Ruin someone's day by ruining their car. Good.
A lot of cars around.
I feel like I should be going down here, but it won't let me
Finally
clear out. Yeah,
clear
clear out symbiotes. Yeah, let's just do this. I think something went weird. And yeah, so it's just like,
yeah, so that they.
so because here's the real way that you're supposed to do PBL. Okay, you come up with 4 questions. Those 4 questions represent a level 1, a level 2, a level 3, and a level 4. Yeah. If you pass, if you get right the level 4 question, then that means you get a level 4. Yeah. Even if you didn't get the level 3 right, or the level 2 right, or the level 1 right. Does that make sense? You cannot continue to think of it like a percentage, because that's not really how you judge anything to begin with. Like, if that were true, then all of us should be fired because all of us make mistakes at our job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Facts. Okay, so none of us is doing 100% work, like, and not making mistakes. There's also something to be said about that too, that really mistakes are what help you learn. Well, if you think that making mistakes is bad, then how do you learn?
Yeah.
And then you get kids that are super anxious because they're like, well, I didn't get 90%. It's like, well, yeah, and that means that you have an opportunity to learn and get better. And then they give up because they only want to get A's that are like, I have to get it right. If I don't, okay, this is what was supposed to happen. So again, it's a whole changing of philosophy. And I'll tell you, I do like it. I think it works. But I also don't go the whole 9 yards with like the DEI nonsense of it, because there is that aspect too, where you're like, where you're trying to do this CRT version of it, and it's like, no, that's not true either. We're not gonna pass kids and say, well, they deserve the pass because they can't get to school on time, and it's like.
Everything all good with Haley?
Is Tyler, are you having a seizure over there? Or you're just spouting random things?
He's widening out.
But yeah, so it's like, so again, it's like, okay, you got a level one right on the test, so you deserve a 1. It's like, okay, because that's your skill level. Then you go to like, okay, a 2 is you're approaching proficiency, but you're not quite there yet, and there's a level 2 version of it. But again, like I said, if someone were able, because most likely they won't be able to, but let's say a kid did show work, got a level 4 question right. Well, that shows competency at a level 4, even if, let's say, one of the mistakes they made was like they've dropped a negative for like the level 2 question. Well, they technically got the level 2 question wrong, but again, if education is about making mistakes and then learning from those mistakes, that's really what education is. That's really how you learn. You don't, like, that's what this is. It's like, well, we don't know how to do this, but we're going to do it anyways, and then we're going to try and get better and learn from our mistakes. So, like, PBL can be a good tool in the toolbox to do that. But I understand, I think people just hate change, though, too. They're like, well, we've done it this way the whole time, and I don't want to do it any differently because that means I have to do more work and I have to figure this new system out. And people hate that. And it's like, well, but the system doesn't work the way it's been made. Like, being able to pass a class because you get extra credit for cleaning desks does not show competency in math. And there are lots of teachers that did that. You probably know teachers that do that or did that.
That shouldn't. Yeah,
and that shouldn't be either, right?
Hey, it's Harry. Leave a message.
Hey, buddy.
But I mean,
I talked to Dr. Collins.
And so, just like
can't that
anything,
happen
though,
in
it's
the
fine.
PBL system as well at some point?
Not if everything is a standard-based like test,
Yeah.
because that's what it is. It's like I give a test. That again, this is the whole thing where it's like, okay, homework. You should do homework because you want to learn, right? So we're trying to get kids to do things for the right reasons, which is hard because of the time and place that we are right now. So like, we don't grade homework. The homework is for you to get better grades on the test. And if you have integrity with your tests, it'll show up if they don't do the homework. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because it will be too nuanced or it'll be too in-depth. But the problem is like what happens is that people do it only halfway, right? Because like I was explaining with this whole thing with my principal, is if we're doing PBL where we're saying, oh, well, getting a 1 is just getting 1 out of 4 right. It's like, well, that's not PBL. That's not really what PBL is either. PBL is oh my gosh, I am just wrecked. PBL really is saying that, oh my gosh. PBL is just saying,
I want to help you, Harry.
PBL is supposed to be saying a skill that you earned, not a, oh man, what is happening? Is a skill that you're supposed to have earned, not a grade that, or a task that you did.
Yes.
And so it's like, but again, people do things halfway. They don't actually do it the way that it's meant to be done. And then they get mad about like it not working the right way. And it's like, well, but you're not actually doing the system.
Yeah.
It's like trying to swing a bat and you're telling me, oh, well, I'm going to swing it one-handed because I think that this is the right way to do it. It's like, no, it's not the right way to do it. I mean, I have this same conversation with athletes all the time. It's like, well, I like doing it this way. Well, your way's wrong. Like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So do it the right way. It's not my way. It's not the, you know, anyone else's way. It's the right way. That's the way. And then they like gripe about it because, well, it's hard to make changes. I've thrown a baseball this way my whole life. Yeah, and that's why you're not good at throwing a baseball. Like that, like, I think, you know, you probably understand where I'm getting with this.
Yeah.
And so there's so many nuances to everything, and you're trying to do your best to actually make it make sense. But there is a lot of halfway of doing things, and like everyone is always going to struggle with that with any kind of new system, and they're trying, and it's not even on purpose necessarily. It just happens naturally because you don't actually know what is required or what you're trying to do, and so really all we're doing is our best, and that really should come down to the end of it anyways too. Is like, just do your best with the system given.
Probably, because yeah, I mean, whenever we talk about this, all I see is the impossibility of like the system that is created, right? And then I'm trying to revamp that, because I mean, even if that has its really good points, it's also creating standards nationwide or statewide, that may not apply to what everybody needs to do. And then it's just like, well, how could you do individualized schools so that people could go to that? Or do we need to bring in kind of more like a British system where they have in elementary school and then the secondary school after you reach what, like 16 or so, and then you basically kind of do a trade school or like 2 years community college, but that's part of your schooling, and then you go to university, you know?
Well, and that's the thing is, like,
do they come out better though? Like
well, and that's the thing is,
like
you're working a system that, so, because this is what I'm not going to listen to from like other people or maybe even outsiders. If you're not in education or you're not in the forefront of it, like, I'm not going to hear from you about how our schools are failing. Like, schools are failing because of all of the things. Schools are failing because students don't want to learn and they're distracted, and then you don't let us take their phones. And they're failing because because most parents don't sit down and actually help their kids with their homework. And they're failing because admin are trying to get teachers to do things that they're either one, not comfortable with, or two, not capable of. And then it's also that teachers are, you know, there are bad teachers that don't do it. So it's like, I'm not going to listen to people like, well, the system is broken. It's like, well, yeah, the system is broken to an extent, but it's because of all of the things, not one of the things. It's not the teacher's fault. It's not the students. It's not all the teacher's fault. It's not all the students' fault. It's not all the admin's fault. It's not all. It's not.
I think it's a totality of society.
Right. Exactly. And really it's more of, this is the time period we live in, and this is the crap we're dealing with, and we're doing our best, and that's how you survive this. Unless we totally tear it down, which I don't even disagree with because there's a system tear down method I would employ too, and I think would be smarter and better for everyone. But the thing is we haven't torn it down, and we don't know if that tear down system would actually be better for society. We're just taking a guess. We're just like, well, I think it would be.
All right.
Okay, we can try it.
Yeah, you need a society that wants to encourage learning and respecting either teachers or education in some ways. But I mean, I don't know. That may become obsolete if you get Apple Vision Pro or Neuralink. Or some other features, I forget his name, the nanobots.
Right.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Well,
I mean,
and
like
it's
a limitless pill.
Well, the thing is parents even take their own like approaches to everything themselves, and they're doing the best they can as well. And I agree with that. Also, being a parent, I understand that. But like, it's like there's this video that's been circulating. And it's this kid sitting in a barber's chair, and he has like dreadlocks, and they're like pretty well kept. And you see this barber like shaving them off his head, and it's a black kid, and it's and the caption says the kid disrespected his teacher, and so this is his punishment. But there's like, I have a really big problem with this video for multiple reasons.
I think that's real. I don't even think that they would have the ability to do that.
No, I mean, you should watch it, and I mean, I guess you can tell me if you think it's AI. Like, it looks real, bro. Like,
I know. Well, I mean, maybe real in that sense, but do you think that's a real thing that actually happened?
No, yes, that's what I'm saying. The child, unless you're saying that he is the greatest actor that's ever existed. He is screaming like he is being physically hurt. Okay? Like, he is screaming for his dad as if he is, like, in mortal danger. Okay? So, if you're gonna... So, Kay, you can make the claim that maybe it's fake, then he is one of the best actors ever, and he needs an Emmy. Like, that's how bad it is. That's how good his acting would have been. Okay? The problem with the video is not... It's not even necessarily that I disagree with, like, the punishment, right? It's okay. This is the thing he loves, and he's disrespecting his teachers. Maybe it will happen all the time. So there's so much context that we don't know. What I am disgusted by, to collect resource upgrade gear before the end of the story. Okay, so I should be good. What I am disgusted by, though, is that they videotaped this kid and then posted it to social media. It makes me so furious watching it. One, because I don't even know if that's legal.
Yeah.
Can you, like, even though it's your child, can you cut your child's hair, like, on purpose? Can you, like,
Well, yeah, I mean,
can you take his, because that's, is that a part of his, like, bodily autonomy?
if it's a parent doing it, then yeah.
Well, but parents still only have limits. I mean, in Utah, you can spank your kid, but if you leave a mark, that's illegal. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think haircuts are illegal unless, you know.
Well, but it's the context of the haircut, though. If the child is saying, no, this is my hair, is it legal for them?
This is my phone.
That's not the same. Your hair is a part of your body. That's what I'm saying, is that's why it's a gray area. I'm trying to figure out, is there precedent depending on what it is?
I mean, because in order to do that, then you'd have to have the state take the child away, because you'd have to say that they are not a fit parent. You'd have to have them have a guardian ad litem so that they could sue the parents for something like that.
But that's what I'm saying, is should they be able to do that? That's my question.
Well, again,
That's the question, is your hair
to come in?
Well, I don't care if it's the state. That's not my issue.
But you would, I think, if it was your own child and it was like, I'm just giving them a haircut and they're freaking out because they said I don't want my hair short.
No, but that's not what happened. Those are two different scenarios. But again,
I mean,
what is your bodily autonomy? Like, what is it considered? Because is it just because it's hair and it can grow back? Are we okay with it? Like cutting fingernails? Because you can't do certain things to your child.
It's also up to like an age of kind of legal accountability, right? If a parent wants to vaccinate a child, the child has to. But I mean, as we see more often, you know,
well, that would probably go to my argument.
Now you're looking at like California, right, which says kids don't have to tell their parents if they're getting abortions, exchange, whatever it is, and so that's kind of problematic because then you kick open the door, right?
Well, and that's what I'm trying to figure out, is like where should the line be, right? So here's the thing. Let's assume that the line is like like hair, because it's hair and it's different. Because again, it's like you can't chop off your kid's hand, but that's obvious. But so I'm not saying that chopping off hand is equivalent to hair, but I'm saying there obviously is a line. There's obviously a line. This okay, this not okay. So then let's assume that the line is it's okay to cut your kid's hair, even in this scenario. No one's going to convince me that it's okay for a parent to do that to their child and publicly shame them for it. It is obviously wrong and disgusting for a parent to video record this traumatic experience, even if you think the traumatic experience is his own doing, and then posting it for the world to see. Like, when I discipline my child, I don't go out in front and spank my child in the street. And that's what makes me so angry. It's not even that, like, the hair, that's just another question I have about the hair thing. You do not do that to your child. And you don't do the public shaming part of it to your child. And I will not accept that as appropriate, because it's not. Like, good.